the day millions of students stopped believing in the system. Chapter 1, the NEET 2024 controversy. Every year, millions of Indian students wake up before sunrise, carrying not just admit cards, but the dreams of their families. NEET isn't just an exam. It is the only path out of poverty and years of sacrifice and relentless preparation. On 5th May 2024, that faith was shaken. The scale of NEET. To understand why the controversy exploded, you first have to understand what NEET means in India. NEET-UG is the single entrance examination for admissions to MBBS, BDS, and several other undergraduate medical courses across India. More than 24 lakh students registered for the 2024 examination, making it one of the largest competitive exams in the world. For many students, 2 to 5 years of preparation, coaching fees that can run into lakhs of rupees, families taking loans or using life savings, parents relocating to coaching hubs like Kota. This wasn't just another exam. It was a life-changing opportunity. 5th May 2024, the examination day. On the morning of 5th May, students entered examination centers across India, believing that everyone was competing on equal terms. But in Patna, Bihar, police had already begun receiving information suggesting something was seriously wrong. A complaint led to an FIR on the same day. Within hours, police arrested 13 people, including several candidates suspected of obtaining the paper illegally before the exam. Investigators later alleged that some candidates had paid 30 to 50 lakhs to brokers for advance access to the paper. At that point, however, the story remained local. Most of India had no idea. Early reactions. Initially, the National Testing Agency (NTA) denied claims of a widespread paper leak. Its position was that the examination process remained secure and that many allegations circulating online were unfolded. For a while, many students accepted that explanation. Then the results arrived. On 4th of June 2024, the results that raised questions. The results were declared 10 days earlier than scheduled, on the same day as the Indian general election results. Students immediately noticed unusual patterns. Among the biggest talking points, 67 candidates initially scored a perfect 720 out of 720, far higher than in previous years. Scores such as 718 and 719 appeared, which many students believed were impossible under the marking scheme. Several top scorers came from the same examination centers, prompting further suspicion. Social media exploded. Students began asking, if everything was fair, how is it possible? The grace mark issue. The NTA explained that around 1,563 candidates had been awarded compensatory marks, grace marks, because they had lost time during the examination at certain centers. This explanation, however, did little to calm public concern. Instead, many students questioned, why wasn't this communicated earlier? How were the grace marks calculated? Why were only some centers affected? As criticism intensified, the Supreme Court later ordered that the grace score process be revisited and eligible candidates were offered a retest. The investigation expands. As pressure mounted, the Bihar investigation uncovered what investigators described as an organized cheating network. The case was eventually transferred to the Central Bureau of Investigation (CBI), according to the CBI's later submissions before the Supreme Court. The question paper was traced to Oasis Public School in Hazaribagh, Jharkhand. Investigators alleged that the security at the strong room had been breached on the morning of the examination. A suspect allegedly photographed the paper, resealed it, and the images were circulated to members of the cheating network before the exam began. Burnt photocopies and digital evidence were recovered during the investigation. The CBI arrested several more individuals, including school officials, alleged middlemen, MBBS students accused of acting as solvers, and others linked to the network. These findings suggested that a paper leak had indeed occurred. The key question now became how widespread was it? A nationwide student anger. Across India, students began organizing demonstrations. The demand were straightforward: a transparent investigation, punishment for those responsible, protection of honest candidates, in many cases, a complete re examination. The protests were not driven only by students who believed they had lost a medical seat. Many participants said something deeper had been damaged: trust. When a highly competitive examination appears compromised, even students who perform well may begin to question whether merit alone is enough. The Supreme Court steps in. As petitions reached the Supreme Court, the judges made an important observation early in the hearings. They acknowledged that the sanctity of the examination had been affected and sought explanation from the authorities. Over several hearings, the court examined the extent of the leak, the CBI investigation, data from examination centers, statistical analysis, the impact on more than 23 lakhs candidate. The court faced a difficult choice. If it ordered a nationwide re-exam, honest students would have to prepare again. The academic calendar would be delayed. Medical admissions across India would be disrupted. If it refused, students who believed the examination had been compromised would feel let down. There was no perfect answer to it. The verdict. On 23rd July 2024, the Supreme Court delivered its decision. The court accepted that a paper leak had occurred and at least 155 candidates had directly benefited. However, it concluded that the evidence before it did not establish a nationwide systematic breach affecting the entire examination. For that reason, a nationwide re examination was not ordered. The court directed that responsibility be fixed where misconduct occurred. It also emphasized that examination systems needed stronger safeguards to prevent such failures in the future. Why many students still felt unsatisfied? Legally, the case had reached a conclusion. Emotionally, for many students, it did not. Many accepted the court's reasoning. Others asked, if the paper leaked in one place, how can anyone be certain it didn't spread further? That question has never completely disappeared from public debate. Some students moved on with counseling and admissions. Others carried a lasting sense that the system had failed to fully restore confidence. The NEET controversy was never only about examination. It became a test of trust between students and the institutions. Courts delivered judgments, agencies conducted investigations, arrests were made, reforms were promised. Yet, for millions of young Indians, one question remained unanswered. If the future depends on one exam, how can we be certain that the exam is fair? That question would not disappear. Instead, over the last 2 years, it would evolve into something much larger than anyone expected.